When you think Bitcoin, what pops into your head? Probably price charts, maybe some wild volatility, right? Most of the conversation just gets stuck there. But we're going to go way deeper. We're going to explore this really fascinating idea that the kind of money we use actually fundamentally shapes how we think, how we feel, and how we plan our lives. I mean, let's be real. Most of us treat money like it's just a numbers game, figures on a screen in our bank account. But that view misses something huge, something incredibly human. It totally ignores the emotional weight, the stress, and all the stories that are tied up in every single dollar we earn and spend. So what if the way we handle our money isn't just about budgeting, but is actually a direct reflection of our deepest values, our hopes for the future, and, yeah, maybe even who we really are? That's the big question we're going to unpack together in this explainer. All right, let's dive in. To really get the alternative that's being proposed here, we first have to take a hard look at the system we're all swimming in right now. And our source material points to this subtle, hidden psychological cost that comes with using it every single day. So this is the money we all know and use: dollars, euros, yen, you name it. The key thing to understand here is that its value isn't based on something physical like gold, but on trust in the institution that prints it. And, crucially, more of it can always be created. This, it turns out, has some really unexpected side effects on our psychology. So what does it actually feel like to live and try to save in this system day in and day out? Well, the source uses this really powerful analogy to capture that exact feeling. Picture this. You get your paycheck, you work your tail off, you try to put a little bit away. But behind the scenes, inflation is like someone sneakily turning up the speed on that treadmill. The value of your savings is slowly, quietly being eroded. It means you have to run faster and faster, work harder and harder just to stay in the exact same financial spot. It's absolutely exhausting. And this constant running, well, it takes a hidden toll on us. There's this low-grade anxiety that's always there, knowing that your savings goal is a moving target. So what do? We start focusing on the short term. The system basically pushes us to spend now on stuff that doesn't last, because holding on to our money literally feels like we're losing. But what if there was a different way to think about money? This is where our source brings Bitcoin into the picture, and not as some get-rich-quick scheme, but as a proposed fundamental shift in how we could express and hold on to value over a long, long time. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The source material draws this sharp contrast. It argues that the current system, with that inflationary treadmill we just talked about, is basically designed to express consumption. It wants you to spend. By contrast, it suggests a system like Bitcoin, with its fixed, predictable supply, is built for the exact opposite. It's all about expressing value. It's designed for preservation. And this shift from a spending mindset to a preserving mindset can trigger a really powerful psychological change. It helps you grow a way of thinking that's a lot like planting a tree, a concept that has a name: low time preference. Okay, so in simple terms, low time preference just means you're able to delay gratification. It's choosing a bigger, better reward in the future over a smaller, less satisfying one right now. It's a mindset that actually values tomorrow as much as, or maybe even more than, today. Think about it this way. You could plant a carrot and have something to eat in a few weeks. That's a high time preference choice, right? Quick reward. Or you could plant an apple tree. Yeah, it takes way more patience, a lot more work up front, but that single tree could provide for you and your family for years, maybe even generations. That's a true investment in the future. So what does this look like in real life? Well, your whole decision-making process starts to change. Your default question goes from "what can I buy?" to "what can I build?" You find yourself choosing quality over disposability. You know, that well-made coat that'll last a decade instead of the cheap one that falls apart next season. You start putting your energy into things that grow over time: your skills, your relationships, projects that will pay off far, far into the future. And all of this brings us right back to where we started, to that central question. Because these aren't just financial decisions we're talking about anymore. They're direct reflections of our character, of who we are. The argument here is pretty profound. A system that encourages you to consume and live just for the moment shapes you into a certain kind of person. But a system that encourages you to save and build for the future, well, that shapes you into another. In this view, our money becomes a tool to actually express our deepest values. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If your money could talk, what kind of story would it tell about you? Would it tell a story of short-term consumption, of just running to keep up? Or would it speak of patience, of building, of planting trees for a future you might not even get to see? It's a really powerful question to sit with. And that's it for this explainer. If this sparked your curiosity, the ideas we explored today come from the What Bitcoin Taught Me podcast. You should definitely check them out to dive deeper. You can find them on all your favorite podcast apps and follow us on Twitter/X, Nostr, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, and now YouTube. If you found this useful, feel free to like it and share it around. Thanks for tuning in.